I'm doing another reading vlog, this time for the Christy Award finalists for 2024. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So this is a start of a reading vlog, and for some books that have been nominated for the Christy Award, that are finalists for the Christy Awards for 2024. So the two books that I'm going to be reading for sure in this vlog are The Lost Boys of Barlow Theatre. I have gone to the library and picked up a copy. And He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox. This is a copy I've owned for a while. It's time to read it. And I may get to this one in this vlog. I don't know yet. We Three Kings is a novella collection, and two of the novellas have been nominated for Christy Awards. But I like to read Christmas books primarily in December, because this is the beginning of November. I don't know if I will want to read this or wait till the end of November. We'll see what happens. So it kind of depends how these two books go and how long it takes me to get through these two books. I will admit, I'm starting with this book first because it's the library book that I'm on a deadline. Now, I have no doubt I will get it back to the library before that deadline because, oh, where's my library receipt? It is due the 19th. Today is the 3rd. I will get it done before that. I hope. But I am very nervous about this book. I have read one other Jaime Wright before, and I wasn't a big fan of it. So I'm giving the author a second chance. And I chose this book because it is a Christy Award finalist for this year. And when I did my Christy Award finalist video and kind of talking about what books they were, I'll link that video below. But when I posted that video and talked about what books had been nominated, I also did a spinner wheel to decide which of these books I would read. And this is one of the books that came up on the spinner wheel. The other book was He Should Have Told the Bees, which is why these are the two books. But then I was reading the summary of it when I played my November TBR game, and it talks about ghosts in a theater, and I was like doing a ghost walk through the theater, and I don't know. So I'm very, very nervous going into this book. We will see what happens. But it is a dual timeline, and I usually love dual timelines. I don't know, I connect with the story better usually, and I particularly like historical timelines. That's kind of my genre right now. So we'll see what happens. So I have not yet started this book. I'm going to start it tonight. Krista from Books and Jams is doing reading sprints, so that is when I plan to really kind of dive into the book. So I will check in later to see how it's going and let you know my thoughts so far. It is Monday after work. I was really hoping to film this clip upstairs because I have the house to myself at the moment, and because Andrew's at an appointment, but it is really cloudy and raining outside. So there was like no natural light to be had upstairs. So I was like, well, I might as well film my normal spot. I have a check-in for this book. I am 70 pages in. Exactly 70 pages? Wow, that was a total guess. My library name is there, that's why I'm covering that up. So we've already like crossed between the historical timeline and the contemporary timeline. Not crossed, switched between the two timelines and the people we're following. And surprise to me, I was more invested in the contemporary timeline at the very beginning. I was really lost on what was going on in the historical. And that first chapter I had to read a couple times to be like, wait, do I know what's going on here? Wow, it really took me a while to get into it. However, then we went back to the historical timeline, something happened, and I'm like, I need to know. So now I'm at both. I'm like, I need to know for both timelines, the historical and the contemporary. I am fully invested in both and want to know what has happened and what is going on And what is the explanation? Because it cannot be what they're believing it to be right now. I'm 70 pages in, and I'm like, I need to know. So that is basically where we are right now. Basically it's early on. A couple of people have gone missing. What's gonna happen? And as I said, lost boys. Like, we know somebody's lost, right? There's some boys lost. So yeah, other than the very beginning, I want to say probably the first 3 chapters was where it was like I had to like reread what I was reading to like, okay, wait, I don't understand. And then now I'm like, I need to know. So that is my check-in for today. I have just filmed an announcement video that you will see before this readathon, so I will link before this readathon. I'm announcing a readathon. You will see before this reading vlog, so I will link that in the description below in case you happen to miss it and you want to join us in that. But I have filmed that video multiple times because I was trying to get it in one take so I didn't have to edit too much, but yeah, I will have to edit. So that is what I will have to do later tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah. But I also just really want to read. And then, just a quirk. I am listening to Double Minds by Terri Blackstock through Libby. And I do have a physical copy, but it is a reread for me, so I am just listening to it right now. However, as I'm driving home from work today, it's playing. We get to the end of the chapter, and all of a sudden it goes back. And I'm like, wait, I already know this part. And then so when I got home, I'm looking at it, it was like, it was repeating the start of chapter 8, and I was on chapter 10, starting chapter 10. It was like a hiccup, and the tape rewound and went back. Okay, I know that's an old school reference, but yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. I have now found where I should be and got over that hiccup and ready to listen to chapter 10. But I was like, what? It was so weird. So kind of sucked on my way home to listen to what I'd already listened to this morning, but oh well, that's okay. So now I am going to, what am I going to do? I am going to upload the video I just took onto my computer so that I can work on editing it. Then I have to get supper out of the crock pot and just make the mashed potatoes that will go with supper. We are having bacon wrapped pork loin tonight. It's one of my favorite meals. I love bacon. But yes, and then Andrew should be home soon, so we will eat supper. And then once I have tomorrow's video ready, not the video I just filmed, I just need to do the description for tomorrow's video. And so yeah, now I'm just chatting again. This is what I like to do. But I do want to read because I want to know what's going on. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I have a Tuesday check-in. It's another day, and I'm still reading this book. I have made it... Oh, wait, that's not correct. I was going to say I've made it to chapter 16, but I also have this book on Hoopla as an ebook. So I read in bed last night. And I have a story about last night and this morning that I will share in a minute. But let me figure out where I actually am in the book. Chapter 18. Okay, so I've made it to page 170. Hey, that's like exactly 100 pages yesterday. Nice, because I was on 70 when I checked in yesterday. That's cool. So I am pretty much almost halfway through, I would say, right? Pretty close. And I am fully invested. I know I said this yesterday, but I am still invested and I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on. And speaking of needing to know, I am exactly the same way in my audiobook with Double Minds by Terri Blackstock. I have 30 minutes left. I'm 95%. Yeah, so I don't know if I will finish it today or if I'll leave it for tomorrow on my drive to work, because I have to go out tonight, but I'm not driving. So I won't be able to listen to it. So yeah. Okay, now, story time. So last night I'm working on my computer and trying to get some videos exported. And I'm having issues. Now I am new to this editing videos, exporting. All my previous videos have been edited by my BFF Christine, which I greatly appreciate. But when I went on vacation in September, I thought, well, I'll vlog it. I will try to edit it myself. So I've been playing around with editing programs and I finally find one that I can learn how to use. It was fairly simple to learn and does what I wanted it to do. Great. So I edited my October wrap-up that just went today. And so during the exporting process, I got it exported. Not the format I wanted. Okay, fine. So I changed some settings, do some Googling, try to figure out what's going on. I export it again. Still not the format I want. Now, keep in mind, every time I export this video, it takes at least an hour to an hour and a half, I would say, to export. So before I even know that, oh, this isn't going to work. So 11:30 last night, after doing some more Googling, okay, what if I tried this settings? I start exporting again. And I'm like, so I text Christine because, again, she's 2 hours before me in time. She's in a different time zone. So it's not quite as late at night. And I'm like, do I stay up and wait for this export and hope that it's the correct format this time? Or do I just go to bed and plan on getting up early in the morning to deal with this? Or I just deal with it tomorrow when I'm off work? And I'm like, I'm not really a morning person. I am not a morning person. I have multiple alarms go off for a reason, because once I'm asleep, I'm asleep. So I was like, but this would be like 2 o'clock in the morning when this video might finish exporting for me. I can't wait till then. I do have to work in the morning. So I went to bed. Okay. 6:30 this morning, there's a beeping going off in the house. Some alarm clock. I can't figure out where it's coming from. I get out of bed. I still can't figure out where it's coming from. And my husband's already at work at this time. And I go to the living room. And we have like a little weather station that sits on our entertainment unit in the living room that tells us what the weather is like outside, like what temperature it is. It's beeping. There's an alarm on it, apparently, that was going off at 6:30 this morning. We've never set an alarm on this thing. I didn't even know there was an alarm on this thing. I've turned it off now. I'm guessing when we changed the time on the clock that we accidentally set the alarm. I don't know what happened. So, but anyways, I was up. So I dealt with the computer thing this morning, which thankfully worked perfect last night when it finally exported. So everything worked great. I mean, once you have the correct settings, everything's right? And for my first video, it took a little time to get the correct settings. Not an issue. And now it's up and it's fine and everything's good. But yeah. So, even though I hadn't really planned on getting up early and dealing with computer stuff first thing this morning, because I know that I don't function well first thing in the morning. It's kind of get up, get ready for work, go to work. That's, my routine. And yeah, but apparently there was other plans in work that, here, I'm going to wake you up by this and you can deal with this. So that is what I did. And now it's after work, almost time for supper. We're just having leftovers tonight. Nothing too exciting. And I still feel pretty awake, so that's good. I do have a meeting tonight that I have to go to. We'll see how I feel after the meeting. So I'm not going to get 100 pages read today. No, I'm not going to. Because I also participated in Chris's sprints over at King Cat Chris last night, so that helped me get some reading done or focus solely on reading. So yeah, but I mean, I'm at page 170 and there's 360 pages. So I'm going to be reading this for a couple more days yet. And I also really want to finish Double Minds because now we're like, I mean, it says there's half an hour left. I'm at 95%. It's probably not even half an hour because, you know, what's at the end of the book. Oh well. So that is today's check-in. Just a little story time along with an update of how I'm doing. But so far, I'm really invested in the characters. Hello, it is now Wednesday after work and we have driven out of town to go to a neighboring library's book sale. Are you excited?
Well, books are great, but this house doesn't just have books, it has CDs and DVDs, so.
That's what he goes for. So let's go check it out.
Don't tell them that.
I already did.
It's easier to see it this way.
That library sale was a bust for me. Andrew did get a couple CDs and a movie, but yeah, they just didn't have anything I was interested in. I did see a couple Left Behind books, which I read when I was in college, and they had a lot of John Grisham books, but again, I have owned majority of them. Deciding what to do with them, I don't need to collect more. I did see a Jen Turano book, Behind the Scenes, but I'm pretty sure I've read that one. I think that's the one I've read. I could be mistaken because it was an older book, but it also wasn't in the greatest condition, so I didn't want it. But yeah, oh well, now we're home. Now it's time for supper, and then I need to edit a video tonight. It is now Thursday evening after work. We have had supper and I have 50 pages left. So I will definitely finish tonight, no doubt about it. So I've got my cup of coffee, my Kentucky Horse Park mug. There's the real logo. I've had this one for quite a few years, so dishwashing. Yep. But I got a new one when we were there last summer, but I really like the size of this one. So now I have a really good one and kind of an old favorite. So yeah, coffee and a book, and that's what I'm going to do for the next little while till I finish this book. And then I will let you know my final thoughts. Okay, so I finished it, and I have very mixed feelings. I have no idea what I'm going to rate it at this time. I want to kind of sit with it for a little bit and think about it. So before the end of the vlog, I will come on and tell you what my final rating is. But my thoughts are I really enjoyed Greta from the historical timeline and following that kind of what she was going through. Like I felt for her and just is like, come on, that can't be right. And I knew there would be an explanation for things, right? With the contemporary timeline, I really liked Kit and kind of following what was going on. But as it got closer to the end, I don't know, like it just felt disjointed a bit. And it felt like it progressed a little bit slow. And then there's this stuff with the food pantry that just seemed to be thrown in there, but didn't really connect the same way as I would have liked it to connect. I think the one thing I had with the contemporary timeline is somebody shows up to talk with somebody after midnight. And it was like, well, you couldn't wait till the next day because it wasn't urgent. Like it was just, yeah. Especially with everything that had just gone on, and then you decide to come at that time of day when it's dark outside and stuff. Yeah, it just, I don't know, that bugged me. I don't know why that bugged me so much, but it did. So as I said, I will come back and tell you what my final rating is. I'm wavering between a 3.5 and a 4. Is kind of where I'm at. I don't know. I struggle with the whole, like, I think the thing that really bothers me is that they brought in this medium and possibly seeing things, and just with that being part of the storyline, it just kind of irked me a bit. And yes, there is a Christian that's working with that medium as well, kind of fighting to prove that that's not what happened. And there is like an explanation for everything. So I did like that. But yeah, I don't know. There was just something about it. Yeah. Okay. So for my next book, I don't know what I want to read. I know I said I was going to read He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox, and I am still going to read this in this vlog. But for tonight, this is where I'm like, I don't know. I am doing the read along with Krista for Adorning the Dark, and so I do need to get 4 chapters read of this one, which is approximately 40 pages or so, before Sunday. So I'm kind of like, well, do I do that reading now, or do I wait till Saturday so it's pretty fresh in my mind when we meet on Sunday? Maybe, I don't know. But then I'm also like, well, maybe I read a short, like one of the novellas in this one, We Three Kings, just to kind of break it up a bit, because this one is also a dual timeline, just like the Lost Boys one. So this is where I'm at. Do I read one story of this one, then go to this one, and then return back to this one? But this is where I know that these stories connect somehow. I'm not exactly sure. Like, maybe you're following the same family, like through generations. I think that's how they connect, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's also Christmas. It's only November 8th today. Do I start a Christmas read? So I am talking to my mom in a few minutes. We have like our weekly phone call that we normally talk. So I am going to let her choose which one I start next. And I will let you know. Okay, so out of these 2 books, my mother chose He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox because she said it's too early to read Christmas. Yep. I agree with her. Okay, so what is this book about? It says, beekeeper Beckett Walsh was living her dream until her father's untimely death sent her world into a tailspin. She suddenly finds she must deal with a new part owner of the family apiary, one who is looking to sell the property, and she cannot fathom why her father would put her in that position to lose everything they built together. When Callie Peterson is named in the trust of a man she's never heard of, she's not sure what to do. Her fledgling business has just taken a wing, and her mother has re-entered her life asking for help, making Callie's financial situation rather precarious. She's sure she has no right to someone else's farm, but the money from the sale could solve her problems and give her the stability she's always craved. With the entangled past behind them and an uncertain future ahead, Beckett and Callie must discover why they've been thrown together before it's all lost. Okay, the one thing that worries me a little bit is it's dealing with the loss of a father. Is that going to be emotional for me? We'll dive in and see what happens. Okay, I have a check-in for this book. It is now Saturday afternoon, like early afternoon, like 12:15. And I did not check in yesterday. I just wasn't feeling it, really. I got home from work yesterday and my neck was stiff. I just put a heating pad on my neck and I read for a bit. So I am now 114 pages into this. So I have an update. Yeah. I never wear my hair back, and this feels, I mean, obviously I have short hair, so I have a tiny little bun. But of course, the odd layers aren't reaching, so it just feels weird to me. But it's Saturday, I'm spending the day at home, really pretty much just going to read, work on the computer, do some stuff, nothing too exciting. I don't need to be all, I can just be comfy. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, for this book. So we're in the contemporary timeline, and we are following two separate characters who have not met yet. Well, I guess at this point in the book, they have just met. So 114 pages, they have just met. But I don't know what the connection between them is. So we are following Beckett, who has lost her father, and very like, she's going to his funeral, the very first chapter, I think it is. And she and her father lived on a farm, took care of these bees. And so we kind of get to know a little bit of her background. Then we meet Callie, who I don't even know if they live in the same town, actually. But we learn a little bit of Callie's back history. She is a creative, independent business owner, goes to craft sales to sell her product. She does, I think, soaps. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not following her story as easily as I am for Beckett's. And she's trying to open like a physical location and is struggling with finances, building delays, construction, that kind of stuff. But she also has struggles with her mother and kind of just things that she's had to put up with throughout her childhood and now trying to like deal with it. So I feel for both of these characters for different reasons. And I'm curious what the connection between them is. Now that they have met, because they were both called to the same meeting, why? What is going on? Like, I want to know, but I also really feel for Beckett. Like, yeah, just, she's the one I'm rooting for or pulling for the most. There are two separate guy characters involved that I expect to be romantic interests for the two girls. I don't know for sure, right? Because I'm not far enough in yet, but I'm kind of hoping that's the way it goes. We'll see. So I am interested and invested in what's going on, so I want to keep reading. So I'm, maybe 25% in? I don't really know. It's 330 pages, give or take. I have 100, yeah, so I'm 30% in, let's say. So yeah, so I am going to keep reading, and I will check in once I'm a bit further, but I won't be able to, like, I'm going to try not to give spoilers because I don't want to tell you, right, what's happening. But am I still enjoying it as much as the first half or first quarter? I'll let you know. It is now Sunday evening, and I am about halfway through the book. I have not made as much progress as I was really hoping to make because we've just had some stuff happen this weekend, and focusing on reading just hasn't happened. Whole weekend just kind of threw a wrench in plans for the weekend, but that's okay. It's life. Life happens. And I kind of thought I would have to stop reading the book because this is dealing with a father passing away and the daughter being left behind to deal with things. And I thought it was going to be too close to home for me, even though my dad passed away 16 years ago. But I was really close to my dad, and I thought, so I was nervous going into the book to begin with. And then we're dealing with the loss of an extended family member. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can. But I've read another, I don't know, where was I yesterday morning? 114, I think. So, and I'm on 176. So I've read another 50 pages at least. And it hasn't really bothered me too much. So I'm going to keep going because my other option was to move on to the Christmas book, which will be a light, easy to read, I expect. But I really don't want to do that before Remembrance Day. It's bad enough before my birthday, but I don't want to do it before Remembrance Day. So, yeah. And that's Canadian. So I think in the States it's called Veterans Day, but same thing, we remember those who served in the war. But I am enjoying the story, and I'm really connected to both characters now. Like, I'm really interested on how they connect, what is the connection between them, and what's going to happen. But I also really like the guy characters and the way they're supporting these women. One, they've just met, the guy and the woman are very recently acquainted. And the other one, they've been friends for a while, and there's a possibility of more developing between than friendship. And I'm rooting for both relationships because I want both to happen. So we will see. So that is my update for now. I am halfway through. I'm really hoping to finish this tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. That might be a little ambitious of me. We will see. But we are going away Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'd like to just take the Christmas book with me for a light read. But we'll see what happens. So that is my check-in now. Hopefully I will have a check-in tomorrow to continue this. And then I will be back with my... Oh, maybe I just do that now, actually. Let me grab the book. The Lost Boys of Barlow Theatre by Jaime Jo Wright. Okay, I have decided on a 3-star rating. And after kind of talking it through with my best friend yesterday and my thoughts and feelings about this, she has not read this book, and I asked, can I give you spoilers so I can talk about some opinions? And she said yes, because I don't plan on reading it. It's not a book it's not her type of book. So, after talking it through with her, and as I was kind of getting more worked up about things, I'm like, yep, I have an opinion on this. So, I have landed at 3 stars. And basically, the ending of the present day, like the reveal and the ending of the present day timeline, has bothered me so much that is what took it down. It's really the historical storyline, and the reveal at the end and stuff. That was fine. That is what saved this book for me to get it a 3-star. I don't want to tell you what it is because I don't want to give spoilers. The thing that ruined it for me at the ending is the best friend, her actions and her attitude about it. And then the kind of the second that was somewhat connected but not really connected. And yeah, but the friend really, she thought it was okay. And no, it was not okay. And yeah, so that is what took it down for me. I think I am of the unpopular opinion, and I don't think Jaime Jo Wright's books are for me. I don't know. I don't know if I would read any more by her, but I do have to say both of the ones I've read have dealt with possible ghost. And I know that not all her books deal with ghost, so maybe I just tried the wrong ones. I don't know, but that is my opinion. But now I am going to continue on this one and hope that I continue to enjoy it because I am really enjoying it. So that is it for now. Okay, today is Friday, November the 15th. And this vlog has not gone the way I expected to. Just life has happened and things have been crazy. So I did finish He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox. And while I really enjoyed the characters and the relationship and following them, I also struggled with the story a little bit, just keeping invested in it. But that, I think, is really because my mind wasn't fully on it. Stuff in life was happening, going on, and I tried to escape, and it just didn't fully escape. But that is not for the book. That is just my mindset at the time of reading the book. And then I was 50 pages left Monday night, and I knew we were going out of town on Tuesday. And I was like, I only have 50 pages left. Let's finish it so that I can bring a new book with me instead. Not that I got a ton of reading done, but that's okay. So I'm giving this 4 stars because I did really enjoy it. I will read more by this author, and yeah, that's my thoughts really. Is there was a really good character development and character relationships between the various characters, and I was totally rooting for the relationships to happen. Okay, so then I started We Three Kings. I have read the first novella by Crystal Caudill, and it is Christmas Star of Wonder. And because of my mindset at the time, this is a novella that's 115 pages. It took me 3 days to get through 115 pages. That is so not normal for me. But just, as I said, life was happening. And so I loved the characters again. And I especially liked how they were talking between each other and then trying to find God's guidance, but then they were also praying together for God's guidance in their lives. I really enjoyed that. There is a little bit of a mystery going on with kind of a villain happening, but it is a short story. There's not a lot about it, and it just moved too quickly for me. We are on a ship traveling from New York to Germany. So the guy character is a German background, from living in New York, I think, and traveling to Germany. But like his ancestry is German. And then the female character is American. So there are German phrases we use, like mother, father, and a couple others that I could easily catch very quickly. But then there was other ones that I was like, wait, what? They do translate the English version of it right after it's said, but I always find it so hard to read a foreign language in a book. It just, every time I come across it, it just throws me off. So I struggled with that. Again, I'm blaming it on my mindset as well at the time. So that is the only novella I have read in this one right now. I have, I've done one chapter in novella number 2 by Cara Putman. That's my plan for later tonight, is to get that one read and keep going. Okay, but as I said, today is the 15th, and the Christy Awards were announced last night, the Thursday, November the 14th. So I am going to pull up the website and hope it tells me who the winners are. And I just pulled it up, and yes, it does. So let's review. Did I read any of these? Okay, so the book of the year goes to Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe. I have not read that one. My best friend has read that one, and she did really enjoy it. So I should read that at some point. Then the Amplify Award for Christian Fiction, which I don't know what that means, but it went to The American Queen by Vanessa Miller. I have never heard of that book. Okay, for contemporary romance, the winner is Indigo Isle by T.I. Lowe. Again, haven't read that one. First novel, the winner is An American Immigrant by Joanna Rojas Van. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Haven't read it. Don't know anything about that book. For general fiction, the winner is The Wind Blows in Sleeping Grass by Katie Poundner. I have never read it, and I don't know anything about the book. I have seen the book cover around, but that's about it. Historical is The Warsaw Sisters by Amanda Merritt. I have not read this book. It is on my TBR. I really want to read it. And now that it's a winner, I really want to read it, but I wanted to read it before. I have heard really good things about this book, so hopefully I can read that early next year. Okay, historical romance. The winner is Of Love and Treason by Jaime Ogle. I don't know how to say her last name. I don't know anything about that book. Mystery, suspense, and thriller. The winner is The Vanishing at Castle Moreau by Jaime Jo Wright. So I read the wrong Jaime Jo Wright book. Oh well. I've heard good things about it. Okay, short form. The winner is Star of Wonder by Crystal Caudill. That's the one I read. Speculative is In This Moment by Gabrielle Meyer. I have not read that book. I've not read that series yet. Young Adult was a tie between Offsides by Laurie Scott and Sky of Seven Colors by Rachel Nelson. I don't know either one of those books. And that is all of them. So, out of all the winners, the one I read was the short form. That's funny because novellas aren't my favorite thing. So, that's funny. Now, I did read He Should Have Told the Bees and The Lost Boys of Barlow Theatre, but these guys were just runners-up. They didn't win, but that's okay. They still got nominated for a Christy Award. Oh well. So, that is this vlog. As I said, didn't really go as planned. In addition to the family stuff going on, both our cars were in the shop today. Oh, so frustrating when they both have to go in. So my husband drove me to work in his car this morning, so I had to get there early because he had to get to his appointment for his car, and my car was just in the shop overnight. And yeah, he said he felt a little weird not having a vehicle at all. I didn't know because I was at work. I wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, it's just been one of those weeks. And life continues. But I did reach 1,000 subscribers this week. So that is exciting, and I want to thank you for joining my channel and following and supporting me. I really appreciate it. I need to think about what I'm going to do in celebration of it, but right now, that's just not, I have to focus on life. And we just have a lot of responsibilities coming up right now, and I don't know what the videos are going to look like. Hopefully I can stay on schedule. I'm really hoping. And I'm hoping this will kind of be an outlet, kind of not create stress, but help relieve some stress. And I'm hoping to get books read because I've read 3 books off my TBR for the month of November, and I had 9. And then I've got 9 on my bucket list TBR. And who knows what's going to happen for December? Will I create another TBR? I don't know yet. But I still have a few books I want to read to complete my goals for the year. And I'm starting to think about goals for next year. So we'll see what happens. But life is happening, and that's the way it goes. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope that you've got some sort of entertainment out of it. And have I intrigued you to read a couple of these books? I do encourage you to read this one. I did share my thoughts on the Jaime Jo Wright. So I encourage you to read this one, and I will be picking up more Amanda Cox in the future for sure. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.